This is CPM Precalculus, Chapter 2, number 157. So Jill has a job like Jack's, except that she makes $10 an hour after 6 hours. Okay, so remember Jack. Jack was in problem 156, and his income was $5 an hour for the first 6 hours, and then $8 an hour for the next additional hours. So that became 30 plus 8 times t minus 6 for t is greater than 6. Okay, that's what we just learned about Jack. And I'm going to even call it J1 because here we're asked to find JT, which is Jill's earnings after t hours of work. So I'm going to call that J2 of t. Okay, so J2 of t, we know that they're similar except that she makes $10 an hour after 6 hours. So the first 6 hours, she's still making $5 an hour. So we still have the same thing for Jill. Her income is 5t for 0 is less than or equal to t is less than or equal to 6, right? But after that, she's going to be making not $8 an hour, but 10. So we know that at 6, right, at t is equal to 6, 5 times 6 is 30. That's how we got this initial point. So it's still going to be 30 plus, and now instead of 8, it's going to be 10 times t minus 6, for t is greater than 6. All right? So that right here is Jill's earnings after t hours. And again, it's a piecewise defined function. All right, so now we have another character, Crown. His job pays $6 an hour for the first 8 hours. So $6 an hour, okay, and then 12 hours after that. What is C of t, Crown's earnings after t hours on the job? So C of t, it's going to be another piecewise defined function. And we know that $6 an hour for the first 8 hours means 6 times t for the first 8 hours means between 0 and 8, right? And what is 8 times 6? Well, 8 times 6 is 48. So after that, he's going to be making 48 plus, and what's the income now? It's not $10 an hour, it's $12 an hour. And where does he start? T minus 8, right? T minus 8 hours. This is for t is greater than 8. All right? Finally, well, we have part C and D. So part C is, when will Jill make $46? So again, this is Jill, right? So we're asked, when will J2 of t equal to 46, right? Well, we know if we're looking at the first part, right, 5, we don't know which piece to look at, right? Well, maybe not. So let's look at this being, well, 5 times t is equal to 46, right? Or maybe 30 plus 10 t minus 6 is equal to 46, right? I'm just taking both pieces and we're setting them equal to 46 and seeing when that's true. So here we get 46 if we divide both sides by 5. Just bring out our calculator. 46 divided by 5, we get 9.2. So at 9.2 hours, that's true. But if we look here, 5t is only true for t is between 0 and 6. So this is out of our range. So we can't include this one, right? Because in the first 6 hours, there's no way Jill makes $46 because she's only going to be working 6 hours. And 5 times 6 is 30. So she's never going to be making $46 in the first 6 hours. So let's look at the second equation, right? We have the second piece is 30 plus 10 times t minus 6 equals 46 because we want to check where she's making $46. So let's solve this equation. Let's distribute the 10. Right, so we have 30 plus 10t minus 60 equals to 46. Combine like terms, we have 10t minus 30 equals to 46. Add 30 to both sides, we get 10t equals to 76, right? And then we 76, we divide both sides by 10, right? So we can use our calculator, 76 divided by 10, and we get 7.6, right? So T is equal to 7.6, and we know T is in hours, so when will Jill make $46? After she works 7.6 consecutive hours, right? After she works 7.6 hours, then she's going to be hitting $46. All right. Finally, when does Jill make more than Crown? Okay. When is Jill's money more than Crown's money? So let's go ahead and look at these equations. I'm going to use a different color to explain this. Jill, we know, makes 5 times T, $5 an hour for the first 6 hours, right? So in the first 6 hours, right, the maximum she makes here is $30, right? Crown, in his first 6 hours, he's going to be making $36, right? 36 in 6 hours, right? So he's going to be making more for the first 6 hours for sure, because he's getting paid $6 an hour while Jill's only making $5 an hour. So, but we want to just, our question is, where is J of T greater than C of T, right? Or this is J2 if we called Jill J2. All right, so we know 5T is never going to be greater than either one of these, but we know this might be, right? So let's go ahead and look at those regions. We know J of T is 30, what was it, 30 plus 10 times T minus 6. 30 plus 10 times T minus 6. And when is this greater than Crown's money, 6T, right? And at the same time, this is where and or mean different things, because we want to know at the same time. At the same time, when is Jill's money, 30 plus 10 T minus 6, greater than this part too, 48 plus 12 T minus 8. Okay, this is very important. The and means at the same time. Okay, we'll look into what that means further in a second. But let's solve both of these inequalities. So let's look at the first one. Let's just distribute the 10. So we get 30 plus 10T minus 60 is greater than 6T, right? Go ahead and combine like terms. We have 10T minus 30 is greater than 6T, right? Let's add negative 10T to both sides. And we get negative 30 is greater than negative 4T, right? And then divide both sides by negative 4. And we get T. And when we divide by a negative, don't forget to switch the inequality symbol. So it's now less than. And negative 30 divided by negative 4 is just 30 divided by 4, 7.5. So we know 7.5 is less than T, or we could write T is greater than 7.5, right? Either of these mean the same thing. All right, so let's continue and do where it also has to be true is over here in the second part. So let's distribute the 10, right? We have 30 plus 10T minus 60 greater than 48 plus, and distribute the 12, 12T minus 96, right? 12 times 8 is 96. You could even use your calculator to verify. And then we can combine like terms, so 10T minus 30 is greater than or equal to, well, 96 and 48, so 48 minus 96, you get negative 48, right? So it's 12T minus 48. Now we just want to solve for T. So let's add 48 to both sides. You could do this in any way you'd like. So you get 10T is greater than 10T plus, 10T plus 18 is greater than 12T, right? subtract 10t from both sides, or add negative 10t. You get 18 is greater than 2t. Divide both sides by 2, and you get 9 is greater than t, or you could write that as t is less than 9, okay? And this and is important because we follow through here and write and, right? T is greater than 7.5 and t is less than 9. Okay, let me write that over here. T is greater than 7.5 and t is less than 9. And why is that so important? Well, let's look at our number line. This is a number line for t, right? Here's 7.5, here's 9. T is greater than 7.5, we know, is open circle here, and it's everything to the right, right? So that's everything to the right. Let's look, and that was, again, t is greater than 7.5. T is less than 9. Well, here's 9, it's open circle, and it's everything to the left, right? Everything to the left. Well, if we looked at OR just for a second and just say, well, what if this was OR? T greater than 7.5 or t less than 9? You would look at this whole number line and say, well, where is it shaded in? It's shaded in everywhere. So this OR would become negative infinity to positive infinity, right? Because you look at everywhere. Even this point has shaded in using t is greater than 7.5, right? So this becomes everywhere. But if you're looking for and means where are they both shaded in? Well, they're only both shaded in between 7.5 and 9, right? Because the open hole is, the green shade is open here at 7.5, and the red one is open at 9. So this and becomes the region parentheses 7.5 to 9 parentheses, right? It's just open circle, shaded, open circle. Okay? So that's why and is very important, and this distinction between or. Okay? So to go ahead and answer this question then, we know that between 7.5 and 9 gives us this region. So when does Jill make more than Crown? Let's go ahead and answer this in a sentence. Jill makes more than Crown during the 7.5 hour to the 9 hour mark, right? So when the clock hits 7.5 hours of work, Jill starts to take over, making more than Crown, and once the hour hits the 9 hour mark, she's made the most, right, compared to Crown, but then add a little more and Crown starts making more, okay? Because at these points are where they make exactly the same amount of money. All right, so that ends for us CPM Precalculus Chapter 2, number 157.